properly. Of tucking it under my arms so then I don't have to hold the weight of you. Did it work? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna fall asleep. Time this turns on. Apparently we're live. We'll see about that because it's been saying that it's been. So this has been saying that I'm going live for like 2 or 3 minutes now. So if I'm really live, I don't know. But if I'm live, thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. I thought I would give an update. I want to tell people I have not been live since YouTube has changed how to go live. That's how long it's been. So I don't know what you know and what you can hear on your end of the screen or what you can see on your end of the screen. But I have it that slow mode is on. So if you leave a comment, it takes 1 minute between comments so I can actually hear all the comments, because I've gone live on other things before, and when I went live, the comments would come in so fast that I could not keep up with whatever the comments are. So slow mode is turned on. Anyways, I thought I would give an update about health, about moving. We got a sphynx hairless cat. So that's this guy right here. And yeah, so let's just start right back. I don't even know when was the last update I actually gave. So I know a while ago, like, and this would have been back around March, something like April, May. What's the month before March? Goodness, January, February, March, around that time. Anyways, so I know I gave a previous update about like dealing with a miscarriage early in March, and I didn't want to share a lot, just because we live in a society can just be really cruel and wicked. Most of my followers are absolutely amazing, but anyways, so we got the keys to our place on June 1. Now, keep in mind, and I don't hide the fact that we're on low income housing, because that's the reality of my situation and my life uh, as a blind person in Canada. So I share, to be honest, because I don't want people thinking, oh, like I don't know how I'm working out for them to get into an apartment. And it took. So we got the keys June 1, and we started moving some random things in between June 1 to June 4. On June 4, we actually had some help. Our pastor and his sons, and there was an intern that was helping at our church. My brothers and my brothers. So my brother has 2 bosses somehow. I don't know. One of them came, so we had a lot of help. I appreciated it very much. It was, helped us move the big things, moved my piano. I have a big wooden piano that is super heavy, super awkward to move. I had help with that. Really happy about that. Come to a bit of a standstill because we need shelves. And here's the trick. You can pay like $300 for bookshelves, which we cannot do at this point in time. Or people will offer bookshelves, but then it ends up being like too far away, if you know what I mean, to get them. So our packing has come to a standstill. We have boxes sitting in our living room that we have to try and skirt around and try and get around. And then health, as far as health goes, so a few days before Canada Day, which is like July 1st, I had a second miscarriage. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really share a lot on that second one because I feel awkward because I don't know what people consider too much information. Full with things. Yeah, and that's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to deal with for me because, one, my body isn't even supposed to be able to get pregnant just because of how bad my health is, okay? And then you deal with the frustration that, well, my body was able to get pregnant, it just can't carry to full term. And that's just really frustrating and annoying and very emotional, and it's a very emotional journey. And also too, like when you share, sometimes people are a little bit indelicate about stuff like that. They're like, well, you never know, God might in the future, God might. Okay, please just don't. Not the thing to say, and I know it's coming from a good place and like people mean it good, but yeah, not helpful in this situation. So like that was only like, oh, I don't even know, like maybe 40 days ago, 45 days ago. So yeah. Dealing with all of that, dealing with moving. I'm trying to see what else. Oh, so this is the way disability is set up in Canada. And it's a safety net because the Canadian government knows that people do not hire those with disabilities. I was on it a long time before I went blind for my health. I just had really bad health issues that I could not work a full physical intensive job. And so I was on disability before I went blind. So my husband came and my husband started working. The amount of income my husband makes compared for it being for a 2-income household, we are still considered well below the poverty line. So keep that in mind. His income alone, we are considered below poverty line. Okay. So they were deducting from my income because he was working. No spouse should be made financially reliant on the other. I'm just saying. In therapy, one of the first things you watch for in like marriage counseling or you watch for abuse is control. So if you're low income, you have to really control the budget. And so to me, that's a flaw in the system. But it was getting to the point that I was getting nothing from disability and I was having to do paperwork every month. And the caseworker that I had, she just really was, I don't know if she just didn't like me I didn't know if she just didn't like life. I don't know, but I've had amazing caseworkers before that you give the info, you update the info, and approve it. Well, the caseworker I currently had felt like she did not need to fill out the paperwork. She could just decide herself if things would get approved or not approved. Yeah, that's not how that's supposed to work. So there were lots of things that were and just really, really frustrating, and I just did not have the emotional strength to fight with her anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. Hopefully my husband doesn't lose his job or anything, and I'm canceling disability. Being on disability is not supposed to affect your credit score. At least that's what they tell you. After I canceled my disability, I went in and I said, I want to cancel my disability. I no longer want to be like in the system. Please remove me. So after I did that, my credit score went up by at least 100 points. By at least 100 points. So yeah, it's time for health issues. I'm having to take a break from teaching piano, which that's really hard for me to go through myself because I feel like that's the only thing that I haven't been able to let go from my previous sighted life. And having to take a step back from that, I don't know, for me, it just doesn't feel like I know it's the right decision for my health, and I know it's the right decision because I really need to focus on other things at this point in time. And it was becoming difficult because, like, I would have people who they would not even tell me they weren't going to come to lessons. They just would not show up. And then the next day, like, they would demand, well, you need to refund me or you need to give me another lesson. Yeah, that's not how that works, especially when you did not even tell me you weren't going to come. And I'm sitting here waiting for you. So yeah, there's a lot of ugh. So yeah. So I'm giving that up. And I think by September I will be completely done with teaching. And that stresses me out a little bit, like financially wise, because my husband's income was paying for, like the rent and our hydro and our bills, and my income was paying for our food. So we are going on some kind of diet. Anyways, yeah. And so then amid all of that, so before all of this conspired, my husband, he wanted to get his driver's license. I've been trying to get him to do a group, like a couples video with me for a while, but he hasn't wanted to. So, oh well. Anyways, he was working on his driver's license and he's trying to do his driver's license in English. And he was having really a tough time. Like, he didn't get it the first couple of times, and he really frustrated and upset. And so he had been bugging about he wanted a pet and he wanted a cat, but we're both allergic to fur, not dander. There's a huge difference apparently. And so I said, okay, I go, when you pass your driver's test, you can get a pet. So he's like, okay. So sure enough, he passed. I knew he would pass it. and he passed his driver's test, and we decided to get a hairless cat. So here is our little hairless kitty, for those who can see it. Hi. And isn't she just the cutest little thing? So his name is Smeagol. If you're a literary fan, you would recognize that name from Lord of the Rings. And he is just so sweet. He really is William's cat, because as soon as William comes home, he runs to the door. He wants William to pick him up and to pet him and, to hold him and snuggle him. And, like he just really is William's cat. It's really cute. During the day, he likes to snuggle with me. Sphynxes are very loving and a lot more cuddly than a lot of other animals and a lot of other pets. So definitely a nicer version of cats, but they are a lot of work. They have to have baths. Their skin produces a lot of oil, and their ears are constantly dirty. You constantly have dirty ears, don't you? Constantly. And just to show you how disgusting it is, because I knew I was going to go on a video and I knew he would at some point be in it. So I know this is disgusting. I saved this. This is just from this morning, and I clean his ears every day. Now, I'm very, very careful when I clean his ears. I don't go down into his ear. I just do like the surface, like at the top, like where his ear joins his head. Okay. But this is how gross his ears are. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's nasty. And I use a cross when there's a lot. So if there's not a lot, it kind of like, because the cotton swab is dry, his skin is dry, so it like there's some resistance as it moves, but when there's a lot, I can feel by how smoothly it moves along there. I'm like, oh, lovely. And the same with his paws. You have to like really get in there. I have to use I bought him his own little toothbrush that I use to scrub his paws in between his little toes and his nails and stuff. But super cuddly, very, very soft on his nose, on all his paws, and a little bit super cute. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of like the updates there. Taking a break, like health-wise, please don't eat my headphones wire. I actually had chicken pox last week. Turns out I do not have an immunity to chicken pox as an adult. So the first day, it was on Thursday. The first day, like I went to the doctor and I thought it was like a really inflamed shingles, because I get shingles and I seem to get it around kids. Lots of times before and just thought it was shingles. But anyways, it was really inflamed, really uncomfortable, like really itchy.